Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. As campaigning for the Delhi election gets underway, where do the two main contenders stand in terms of critical issues that matter to the city's voters? What do they offer in terms of electricity and water, and in particular in terms of security? And how do they compare with each other? That, in fact, is what we're now going to turn to when we present a BJP versus Aam Aadmi Party debate on these critical issues, so you can judge for yourself. My guests are Yogendra Yadav of the Aam Aadmi Party and Sambit Patra of the BJP. Yogendra Yadav, let's start with the essentials of water and electricity, which matter perhaps to most people. The Aam Aadmi Party has said that you will provide free water, which means that every household will get 20,000 litres of water free every month. You've also said that you will reduce power tariffs by 50%. How will this be paid for?
Karan, let me begin by complimenting you because I think we badly needed a debate on issues. And Aam Aadmi Party has been working exactly on this for the last few months. We realized that the question is about governance and whether we have a blueprint, and that's exactly what we worked on. The two things about water and electricity that you have highlighted are only top headlines things. Actually, our plan both on water and electricity is far more nuanced and far more complex.
But tell me first how you'll pay for these. Tell me how you'll pay for free water and a 50% reduction in the tariff of electricity.
That's why you need to know what the plan is, because there is no free water. There is a cross subsidy involved. That's exactly what we had done last time. The subsidy is at 700 litres per family, which is 140 litres per person, which is a universal norm. Now the minimum that we are saying is that a government should be responsible for providing minimum degree or minimum amount of water. And there already is subsidy in Delhi on water, and as we had explained last year, this involved only an additional subsidy of 150 crore rupees, which given the size of Delhi's budget is a very small subsidy.
Right. So you will have an additional subsidy of 150 crore rupees, you've just said that. Is that right? This is a subsidy-based reduction.
Over and above the 250 crore that already existed.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do want to provide subsidy. There's no, for me, subsidy is not a bad word. The real question
I'm not saying it is, Yogendra Yadav. The point I'm saying is this, that this reduction in 50% tariff of electricity and free water will be something the taxpayer pays for at the end of the day.
Yes, indeed. And please remember, the taxpayer includes the poorest of poor in Delhi who pays VAT. It includes the slum
Absolutely.
Taxpayers include everyone in Delhi.
I'm not saying
yes,
it doesn't.
So
I'm simply saying this is going to be paid for by the taxpayer. That's what I wanted to clarify. Now, Sambit Patra, your party has not as yet announced what you plan to do about electricity tariffs. But in 2013, you promised to cut electricity tariffs by 30%. Admittedly, you never came to power. But over the last 8 months, when Mr. Modi was effectively ruling Delhi, rather than reduce tariffs, you actually increased them. So let me ask you, what do you propose to do about electricity and water if you win the election in February?
Let me begin by water. And let me tell you, yes, subsidies are essential for the poorest of the poor, but subsidy is not the solution. Innovation is the solution. And what is the innovation as far as water is concerned? We should know the situation in Delhi as to what exactly is, as far as water is a matter of discussion. 25%, only 25% of the national capital is supplied by piped water lines. Rest 75%.
But we all know that. I'm asking you what you propose to do. Will you make water free or not? Ask me.
Karan, why propose to do? We have already done the mammoth task of regularizing the unauthorized colonies.
No. Let's stick to water. I can't listen. Sambit. Let's take these issues one by one. My question was about electricity tariffs. You promised to reduce it in December 2013. Are you making the same promise now about electricity and water?
I'm answering you, Karan. You should only have patience that we are the government in the 7 months, because of negotiation between Haryana and Delhi, finally water has flown through the Munak Canal and the Renuka Dam is functional now. This is only because of the fact that 10 last years did not see any kind of negotiation.
Sambit Patra, I'm asking you a specific promise about what you are going to be offering the people of Delhi in this election. on water
That's what
and
I'm telling you.
electricity?
We have
Answer
already
that.
offered you. We are already offering them. In the sense that you also asked in your question, what have you done in the 7 months? And Mr. Karan Thapar, I'm answering you as to what we have done in the 7 months.
All right.
We have opened the
This is
Munnar
an
Canal,
opportunity
which was
for you
not
to explain
functional for
to the
last
Delhi
10
voter
years.
what you're offering in terms of electricity and water, and you're not telling me. I'm a bit surprised.
No, you should not be surprised when you know the facts. The fact is there was no water coming from the Munnar Canal. This Bharatiya Janata Party central government has already started the Munnar Canal, so a lot of water problem is already solved.
Okay.
As far as electricity is concerned, we stand by a commitment of 30% reduction in the bill. Only the manifesto would be released very soon, and this path has been laid down by none other than the Prime Minister himself in the recent
So you said something very important. You said something very
important.
important. You stand by a 30% reduction cut in electricity, which you said will be part of the manifesto, which will be released very soon. Have I understood that correctly?
Though I would not preempt a manifesto, but yes, we stand by the declaration, what we made in 2013, and the roadmap of it was given by none other than the Prime Minister himself when he spoke of competitive electrification.
Fine. You made it clear that on electricity, you will be offering the people of Delhi a 30% cut versus Aam Aadmi offering a 50% cut. I take it your cut also will be paid for by subsidies and therefore paid for by the taxpayer. Give me a quick yes or no.
Paid for by subsidy. Did I say that? I said we would be going for competitive electrification, what the Prime Minister had said. We would invite various other companies into
but
competitive
who will pay for the
Delhi.
30% cut in electricity tariff?
Only if you have competition, then this money goes out from the pocket of the private players, that is the DISCOMs.
So you believe creating competition between DISCOMs will automatically generate a 30% cut in electricity? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. The DISCOMs will not get to pocket all the profits for themselves.
We're going to stick to this subject of electricity because it's a critical one, and there's a very interesting difference coming up. Yogeshwar Yadav, you have a belief from the BJP that creating competition between DISCOMs will generate of itself a 30% cut. They don't believe they need to subsidize their promise. How do you respond to that quickly?
Thanks for bringing me back into the debate. I've heard some extraordinary claims. Look, there are two separate things, Mr. Samit Patra. Please don't confuse. One is to introduce competitiveness as exists in Mumbai and other parts of the country. The other is to say 30% reduction in tariff. Which one of the two are you offering? The Prime Minister has said the first, he did not say the second. You last time said the second, you did not say the first. Which one of these are you saying? Please don't conflate the issues. And I also heard you make that extraordinary claim that unauthorized colonies have been regularized and apparently the problem of water has been solved in Delhi. I'm astonished. And yes, you've given a breaking news by saying you stand by 30% commitment. Please, what is your party's official stand? What are you saying?
Can I ask you a simple question, Yogeshwar Yadav? You're right to point out the anomalies and discrepancies in what Samit Patra pointed out, but the question I wanted you to answer is this. Do you believe creating competition between DISCOMs can result in a 30% tariff cut?
No, sir, it won't. Competition is not a bad idea, but the idea that alone would lead to 30% reduction, there is absolutely no empirical proof unless they come and give proof. And our idea, please, because you've not heard what we want to do on electricity, unfortunately, it's all about subsidy and this cut. Our plan is a special audit of DISCOMs. Our plan includes cheap acquisition, cheap purchase of electricity. Power purchase agreements have to be changed, and in the long run the city has to shift to solar electricity.
Well, that will be very much in the long run. How quickly will this 50% cut happen if you come to power? A quick answer to that. How quickly will it happen?
Instantly. That's exactly what we have promised. That's what we did last time. We have to do it. That's
very
what we have
quickly.
promised.
I'm going to bring in Samit Patra.
But I want to know what is it that the BJP is promising?
Samit Patra, if you were to win power in Delhi, how quickly would the 30% cut you're talking about happen?
Let me be very truthful in stating that it would be over the time, because overnight we would not definitely build up a competitive electrification.
When you say over time, how much time are you talking about? Are you talking about a full 5-year term?
Would you allow me the time that you allowed Yogeshwar Yadav ji, please, without interrupting, then I would be able to articulate what BJP would be doing very clearly. Let me tell you, we do not believe in subsidizing those very discoms whom we call thieves, in fact. And if you remember, approximately 300 crore was paid as a subsidy to none other than the
Sampai Patra,
discoms.
I'm taking you back to my question. When you say the 30% cut will happen over time, how much time do you have in mind?
Over the time does not merit to say that it has to be a particular fixed time. It merits me to say that within the stipulated period of the mandate that we get.
That's
within
5 years.
Definitely at the earliest.
Yes, but you're not saying what the earliest is. I mean, so the earliest conceivably could be 1 year, 2 years, even 3 years down the road.
I tell you, it may be 6 months, it may be 8 months. At the earliest, maybe 6 months. Let me tell you, yes.
All right.
I'll give you a realistic
It could be in
image.
6 months, it could be in 8 months.
I will not
But
put
it
you
won't
into
be
dreams of the
instantly as Aam
Party.
Aadmi is promising. Is that right? It won't be instantly.
Look, Mr. Piyush Goyal only recently held a press conference in which he put
All
forth
right.
the dismal state of the electricity in Delhi.
I don't
Delhi
see
does
what
not
Piyush
have-
Goyal has to do with this. I'm asking you a simple question.
I
I'm
do not
simply
see
saying,
what Piyush
you
Goyal
say
has
at
to
the
do.
earliest
He's
could
the
be
power
6 months,
minister
it could be
after
8
all.
months. Clearly, therefore, it won't be instantly. Am I right in that?
The power minister said that Delhi does not have the lines of transmission from where
All right.
the Aam Aadmi Party or
The
Delhi
lines
gets
of
the big-
transmission have got nothing to do with the question. Forgive me, you're filibustering, and forgive me, you're being irrelevant because you don't want to answer. I'm afraid we've run right out of time. This is a truncated debate that we brought you tonight, but I promise you that we will return and do this much more fully, because the true explanation of what the parties are offering and whether they can actually meet up to their promises and how they compare with each other will be only known when we stage a proper debate, and that we will definitely do in the next couple of days. But today, unfortunately, it's a truncated version we've offered, and my apologies if it's been somewhat unsatisfying. There we end this episode. Goodbye.